All right, so I'm just saying hello to everybody. This is Spring Baby 485. Also, well, if you know me in real life, my name's April. And I guess I felt like I needed to explain a few things. And one thing is that, well, for one, I guess as a recap, I've gone through a lot of stuff up until now. And of course, at this point, everyone has, considering, But with that aside, I wanted to explain that, out of all of that bad stuff I went through, I have, those bad memories have silver lining. They have happiness mixed in between it, I'll give you an example as far as what a good memory is. No. A bittersweet memory that I think I'm just now coming to terms with, as far as how really to process it, because like a lot of things that I had happen to me, I didn't process correctly, and it wasn't until I became like a full-grown adult with adult responsibilities and having to think like an adult and all of that. There were some hiccups along the way with that development, and as I'm doing that, I look back on these memories, and I think, what in that memory really made me happy? Like, I guess is a big example on that is that I have a lot of good memories as a child, like beautiful memories as a child, yeah, especially with like music and video games, martial arts, all of the things that I've grown to love. The things that happened to me as a child could have been handled a lot better. If you've grown up in Baltimore between the 80s and the 90s, I'm from Bmore, and growing up in, if you can just imagine that kind of environment for anybody that was, is the same age as me and lived in that area, abbreviate. That's just one of the things. Just there was that point in your childhood where you're trying to figure out just what clique do I belong to, or can I make my own? Like, where do I belong? And a lot of people were telling me where I belong and where I don't belong, but I didn't know anything about that myself. All I knew is that I loved music, I love martial arts, I love art, I love to sing instruments. I just knew what I liked, but I didn't know what to do with what I liked. And now I know exactly what to do, and now I'm just trying to flesh out these thoughts that have kind of become frosted and put in the back freezer of my brain, and I'm just now trying to get them to thaw out, defrost, so I can process it and do what I need to do with it so it can finally be used up, because it's going bad in the freezer. As far as, let me put it this way, because I've at least known about the things that I like, I'm going to give a huge example with video games, especially fighting games. I have played a good majority of games on several platforms and genres, just for the love of it. In a way, I'm kind of part of video game history by being part of that audience that indulged in it. That nowadays, I think there's maybe only a few people that I have really not so much paid attention to, but like just really noticed that are on the same level with that, and playing with them is so much fun. And the reason why it's so much fun to me is because it's part of that bittersweet memory as a child. Here's my first introduction to video games from what I can recall, like maybe 5 or 7 years old, and my oldest brothers are playing Street Fighter. My first Street Fighter was 2, not 1. I didn't even know 1 existed. My brain was like, okay, so the first Street Fighter is Street Fighter 2 Turbo, you know? So, and of course, as a child, I pick up the controller, I mash all the buttons, you know? And my oldest brother, almost didn't want us to play it because he thought we were going to break his system, for what I remember. But it turns out we could handle ourselves. And me and my older brother, Michael, he was basically my rival. And this complex began to develop because he would naturally get the moves down, whereas I was kind of having difficulty. And then I discovered the instruction manual and connected the dots with what to do in the instruction manual to make my actions manifest into the game with those commands. And that's where I first developed the skill to basically become the character, as if I was fighting on that screen, but with that person. And I remember when Michael kept asking, how are you doing that? How are you doing that? Because that was me, little old me. I'm the youngest of 5, and I'm just like, how do you do that? How do you do the, like, come out the hands? Wait a minute, how you spin around with the feet? Wait a minute, you know, like I'm asking. It's the classic tale of Big Brother doesn't tell you how to do the moves. So you have to find out on your own. I was just like, F this, I'm going to get the instruction manual. Haha, now I literally know how to do it. And I figured out how to do moves that they didn't even know how to do. Actually, no, Michael, not Aaron. Aaron, he's like, let me put it this way, and I'm going to get to Aaron. There's a very heartwarming part to that makes it not so bittersweet, but really is an endearing part of my personality. And here it is. So me and Michael were playing, you know, and then he, you know, once he saw how good I got just from following the instructions, then he read the instructions and we began to piggyback our skills off of each other. And then what would happen is, like, of course, Aaron was the best because they were his games. He would let us play them, and a lot of times we would play against him. And then when he wasn't playing, Michael and I would practice against each other and then, like, try to show him. And, you know, and of course, when we do that, then all of a sudden he goes Super Saiyan 2 on us. And then we were like, oh, dang, we didn't know shit. So, but it was a fun exchange of enjoying a game, enjoying it with other people, and learning how to get better at it. The only thing that makes it slightly bittersweet for me now is because that also helped me develop a competitive personality. and it's hard to have fun without, let me put it this way, I've become a sore loser. And it takes a lot of self-control and maturity to not take those losses to heart, no matter how good you fought, no matter, you know, what happens. It is what it is. It's a game. You know, don't take it to heart that maybe this person's better than you, maybe this person has some combos, or maybe this person can, like, read all of your moves and all of it. So what? Just as long as you're having fun with the game. If anything, I find most positivity in acknowledging that person's skills. Not gonna be like, oh man, he better than me, I won't play to him, I ain't never gonna win. Nobody's gonna have fun that way. It's fun to salt it up with that competitive spirit a little bit, but overall, you always want to be a good sportsman, a good sport. And I've just now gotten into the habit of it because I was not a bad sport. I was not a good sport growing up. I was terrible. A lot of the times it's where I kind of, if I didn't feel like playing a game, I would just watch somebody play it. So I got the experience of a lot of the games that have made history just from watching my brothers play. And that is leading up to some recent actions that I have been doing. Despite everything that has happened to me, I'm finally in a better position in my life, not just to enjoy those moments of history, but to contribute to them. And I'll give you a fine example. Maximillian Dude. When I first discovered his channel way back when, like from the beginning, it was really fun to watch him because he was going on about games that I liked and games that I have played and the same types of joys and appreciations for those games that I liked and played. And also, with Street Fighter being like my first ever game that I learned how to play, guess what? Here's the other thing about this. Michael, he's not about the one that does the pokes and the stuff. He's about the one that does the least hits with the most damage. So guess which character has plot priority, main character priority in every Street Fighter game? Ryu. Right. No matter who I picked, he was Ryu. And it was just something about his Dragon Punch having so much priority. It was something about, why are my moves not getting through? Is it because his moves are better than mine? What is going on? Like hitboxes and all of this. Like, what is learning how to do all of that stuff? Because I just was trying to figure out how to beat my brother, and it turned out in trying to figure out how to beat my brother, I got good, but I didn't like Ryu's pace. So guess which pace I picked? The one that's just as good, but egg beater, Ken. And he's flashier too. I love to just make people explode with like his HP Dragon Punch. You know, Ken is my all-time favorite Street Fighter character. If there is a Street Fighter anywhere, if there is any kind of collaboration Capcom game that has Ken in it, I will be Ken. Marvel versus Capcom, the series, with some other things that he's in Smash and some smashes and melees and stuff. Like Ken is just about everywhere. Just about. If it's not Ryu. You know, like Ken obviously is not in the Ultimate Marvel versus Capcom 3, but Ryu is. And he's good for that. You know, he is the main character. They're not going to put player 2 person on to represent all of Street Fighter. No, the Street Fighter that goes around with the same stinky gi all the time, with the same stinky gym bag, traveling across the world and climbing mountains and helping people in desolate, famined villages get some bread for some drug dealers. You know, if anyone's ever seen Street Fighter movie, animated to anime. Yes, so this person, he literally is the fighter in the streets. He picks a fight with Fei Long and like underground fight. Ryu is the Street Fighter, whereas Ken, he can be a Street Fighter. You kind of have to like, okay, yeah, you gotta catch me when I'm done, you know, when I'm done feeding the family and you know, taking care of my daughter and taking care of this mansion. You know, you gotta catch me after hours. You gotta catch me after hours in the alley, and then I'm gonna whoop your ass, and then I'm gonna go back home and be like, yeah, so somebody else challenged me again. Let's see. Does the baby want McDonald's? You know, I don't know. That's his life. His life isn't. He capitalized on it. He professionalized it, and that's why in a lot of the games his moves differed more and more from Ryu, but you still get that Shoto feel. He specifically worked on his kicks to be different because he likes to kick. Whereas Ryu, his moves didn't change. His moves didn't change at all. They added some supers, that's it. But it's still basically some other kind of fireball, some other kind of dragon punch, some other kind of Tatsumaki Senpukya, some other kind of variation of the same moves that he's had. The only thing that is different is that, well, I sound really opinionated like this, but the only thing that really made a difference was Kage. Like, I was like, why does he look like Ryu, but his name is different? And he kind of fights like Ryu, but then he kind of doesn't. He kind of fights like evil Ryu. Is he evil Ryu? And then it's to the point where, like, the evil Satsu, the evil finally took over, and he's got, like, a whole other personality now. Is that what's happening here? Is it a Kage versus Ryu paradox? That shouldn't happen if that does happen. Here's the thing though, even though Street Fighter was like my first fighting game, actually no, that's a lie. um, black belt. There's a bunch of, listen, I have history back to the Sega Master System, the Game Boy, Atari, like way back when. What was it, those Famicom, all of that stuff. All the stuff that Max has played back in the day. And so when he goes on ranting about games and certain things about it, I'm almost in total agreement with it because I lived it as well. And going back to Max, watching him is like playing with my brothers again. And I wish that, I want to say throughout the 10 years that I have been, probably more than 10 years, it was like early 2000s, YouTube had just become a thing. I've been on YouTube since like 2005. Oh my God. Max is like hanging out with my video game buddies again, geeking about all of the stuff that we love about it or hate about it. How do you get better? Putting the time in practice mode to learn shit. Like all of that. It's something that I've come to appreciate, and I'm glad that I'm not the only one that lived those experiences. I know I'm not the only one, but to see someone like really hit the nail on the head for me, like in my heart, he kind of became family, but I never got to express just how much I appreciate what he does, even though I wanted to. Like I said, life happened. Once upon a time, I was homeless. Once upon a time, I stayed at a shitty job for 6 years with no outcome. I was just stuck. And at the same time, what would give me some happiness is watching Max play the games that I love and him reacting to it. Because it's here, it's in the heart. And I wanted to express that now I'm in a position where I can finally contribute to something. And I know that people on Twitch and YouTube and anything else that streams and you gain some kind of profit from it, it's a gray area of what to do. I don't know the etiquette for contributing whatsoever. It's just that when I feel it, I do it. If I have it, I'll give it. Because I want to. If this is a way of showing you some kind of appreciation for what you do, for what you present, I'm gonna give it. And so now, I think maybe for like the past week, I know it seems like I may have I've been subscribed to Max forever, but on Twitch, I only just now got on Twitch because I'm very slow when it comes to social media. I have a Twitter, I don't even use it. I have social anxiety too, so this is kind of like a jump, like, oh, tada hikaru, let me face my fears, At the root of my issues is anxiety. And anxiety has, throughout the years of being untreated or handled inappropriately, has got me to a point where I must work on myself. But in the middle of that, I would get joy out of watching Max play. Watching Max play, I don't know how many times, has helped to cure my anxiety. It's helped to get my mind off of the things that were troubling me. Help cure my depression. Help me learn new things about the game that he's talking about, because I probably have it. I have a deep love and respect for Maximillian and his crew. All of them. Max, Kenny, Steve, Simmons, Jesse, and the baby, Ripley. Because that's the other thing too, is that I've been wanting to give him some kind of support. And not only am I in a position to do that, I also am pretty much stirred. And that's a whole new set of adult responsibilities that I'm I want to say we'll always be learning, because I can't just say I'm the master of this now. No. Still learning. And while I'm still learning and, going through that, living through being a parent now, as well as a gamer and a musician and everything else that I am, I also empathize with Max. He not only has this thing where he entertains us with his games and stuff, just being here, he just got finished explaining about how his... So I get that. I get the energy that he's putting into what he's doing to entertain us, to always keep the streams and the videos lit and entertaining. I feel the effort, and I am ever so appreciative of that effort. 2244 on stream, still getting the hang of Twitchdom. A chance I get, I'm gonna give him something, because I know it doesn't just support him, it supports him and his friends and his family. It supports his life. And Max, if you're watching this, true nod to you, sir, for everything that you do and for doing it for so long. And for putting up with chat and everything else. Shine on, and thanks for helping me to shine too. I really mean it. When you get those bits and those subs from me, it's from the heart, So yeah, I guess I just wanted to explain that. It's my first time really being in a position to literally to things that I support, things that I like. And like I said, I have social anxiety, so a lot of times I'll be the oddball in the chat, not knowing what the hell is going on, and just smile because you don't know what's going on, that sort of thing. And about it, because sometimes I just do stuff in the moment. I really try my best to not offend anybody. I just want to have fun, make sure everybody has a good time, and that whoever's hosting the event, give them my support and my appreciation. I want to make sure that, while I'm struggling to raise my 2-year-old, he's taking care of Ripley. And so I hope that my little minuscule bit of support helps little Ripley as well. So we all need some kind of help in these times now. Seems like the world is imploding on itself, but every little bit helps, And I will say that I am not rich. No, I'm just in a position where I can finally do something to help, Maintain the shine. So, but yeah, in short, I'm just trying to be good to myself so that I can be good to other people, the people that I care about. And that includes Max and his crew and his family. So, wish you all the best. If you're watching this vid, Max, I hope that this vid finds you well. And I'll probably see you on the next Twitch stream. So, and as for everybody else, if you've made it to the end of this video, I appreciate that as well. I don't ask anything from you. If you want to subscribe and like and all that other stuff that everybody else says that I don't say because I'm old school and I don't have to say that. And if you want, I don't need it. But if you want to, it's great. Includes my stream of just expressing my thoughts about changes in my life for the better that hopefully can help other people. as I've been helping. And you don't want to forget to love yourself. A lot of people forget that. If you love yourself, you'll be able to show love to other people. And when you do, everybody wins. So, and I hope you have a good one. Peace.